and welcome. In this video I'm going to talk about Linux file system. Now on the previous articles and videos we've talked about how to choose the best Linux distro that fits our needs, how to install Linux properly. The first step before digging into the Linux commands and the Linux usage, we have to take a look at the Linux file system. So Linux file system is the down level of the operating system, the layer beneath the operating system that handles the files and folders and all of your system. Now if we take a look at the definition on Wikipedia, it says it is used to control how data is stored and retrieved. Without the file system, actually, you are not the system are not going to know where this file starts from and ends at. Without the file system, the system will have no idea or any clue about which file at which place, at which location on the disk or the media you're using. Actually, there was many file systems. And you may know, if you have a Windows background, you heard about FAT32 and Btrfs. Actually, in Linux, there are different file systems that was designed for it. Actually, some of them is dead, some of them is growing and expanding. Actually, Linux file systems you may hear about is ext and ext2, ext3, ext4, xfs, jfs, many of them. So ext2 is a Linux file system that allows for at maximum 2 terabytes of data. Actually, that does not match the new data. Now it comes with the ext3, which came as a successor for ext2, which keeps, of course, backward compatibility with ext2, so you can upgrade from ext2 to ext3 without problems. The only problem about the ext3 is that servers does not use this kind of file system, because the ext3 does not support the file recovery or disk snapshots. Now this is actually a very big problem for servers, so you cannot use ext3 for servers. Comes after that ext4, which is a faster and allow a larger files with a very big and significant speed than the others, and actually it's a very good option for SSD disks. So if you try to install any Linux distribution, you will actually notice that the default Linux file system suggested by Linux is the ext4. There is also another system which is jfs. Actually it is a little old file system made by IBM. It has a good performance actually, but actually it is not used at large scales because of its low CPU usage. Actually it failed some files and corrupted the reporters and the experts says about that on the large scale. There is also an XFS old file system which shows a bad performance of the smaller files. The XFS shows a very bad performance with smaller files. Actually, after that one, Btrfs or Better File System, Btrfs, it was made by Oracle, and it is not actually stable as the experts says. Some distributions use it, some others not, but actually that one has a good performance compared with the others. From what we have said, actually you may notice that ext4 is the best option for a Linux file system that you can use. This actually for what we call a Linux file system from the down level. So maybe you search Google and you want to know about Linux file system, but not the under layer Linux file system. We'll talk maybe about the top layer. So if you want to talk about the top layer of the file system, we have to open the Linux from inside and see what the structure of Linux file system is contained, with what it consists of, what directories. If you are coming from Windows background, you may notice that you have partitions like C and D and E, like that, but in Linux it's different. So if we go and open Linux file system here, now you'll see something which is different than Windows. There are those folders. There is no C and D. This is the root partition, which is / here, as you can see. It contains many partitions, many folders, sorry. Every one of them is responsible for his job, specific job actually. So if we go from the first one, the /bin, this is the Linux core commands, like the commands we will talk about commands actually in a future video, so stay tuned. /bin for the binary files for the system, like the commands. /boot actually for the bootloader and the boot files for the Linux. CD-ROM for the mounted CD-ROM. If you put a CD-ROM, it will be mounted here. Some Linux file systems, some Linux distros don't have this one. It uses MNT folder instead, but actually it's not a problem. /div, where all physical drives are mounted, like USBs, memory sticks, whatever, any device can be mounted here. /div. /etc, it's the folder for all configurations are located. Like the configuration file, .com file, .ini, whatever. This etc is for configuration. This is how Linux is structured. /home, where every user have a folder and his files inside that folder with the permission, so no user can read the other user's file. And we will talk about permissions in a different video and how Linux permissions work. Everything we're gonna talk about. /lib, actually all libraries, if you are coming from Windows, it's like DLL files are located, but here you may notice that it contained files with the different extensions. You'll see like s.so files. These are how the files are libraries are structured in Linux. So this is lib for the libraries, and they are actually shared among all the installed packages, not like Windows actually. Maybe every program has his own DLL files or his own libraries using it. And lib64 actually the same as lib, but for this is architecture is 64-bit. It can be used. After that, the /media, all external devices like USB and DVDs are mounted, and you can access your files from that one. Some distros have mounting this on media, others not on MNT, so it is not a problem for you to understand that. /MNT, you mount other things like network locations. You mount it network location on your network. This is the same, so no problem. /OPT, optional packages are located and held. The optional packages. /proc, you're not going to use this folder a lot. Everything on a Linux is a file actually. This is the beauty of Linux, that everything is a file. /proc are storing most of the running processes on Linux. You can access that process and know information about it, and you can work with it of the current processes running, everything like that. /root is the home folder, but for the root user. Now we will discuss about users on Linux also in our upcoming videos. Root user is a special user on Linux, and it has a folder for he has a folder for himself here named root, not inside home, because home is a folder for all users. Every user on the system has a folder on /home, but root has a special folder called root. /run also for the running processes, and you preferred not to play with this, and it is not important for you to play with. /sbin are the binaries for the root user only. So for the root, there will be running binaries belongs to the root super user in /sbin. And /srv/sys, this belongs to the system, and maybe some distros don't have these directories. You don't have to play with it actually. /temp actually for the temporary files are located on /temp. /usr, actually it is not user, but it is usr. usr are the utilities and the files shared. Universal resources are here not user actually. /var are the variable data, like the system logs, like .log files and all these files like that. So this is a brief look about the Linux file system from underneath and the top level of the file system. We're going to discuss about actually we're accessing the file system from this explorer of the Linux, but actually the power of Linux and the beauty of Linux comes from that shell. We are going to work with Linux about the main commands on the next video, maybe about the Linux commands from the beginning, how to work with Linux using this command shell, which is called the bash shell. This is actually the power of Linux comes from that. So see you then. Thank you.